All right, welcome back everybody. My name is Austin. Today I want to update you on whether XRP is or is not an unregistered security. As you know, the company Ripple, they've been dealing with a lawsuit that they're being sued by XRP purchasers, suing the company, claiming that XRP is in fact an unregistered security. That's the lawsuit that's going on right now. And in a new motion, the company Ripple just put in a new motion to dismiss the XRP lawsuit entirely, but not for the reason that you may think. They totally avoided the securities issue, the meat of the lawsuit, and they're going after technicality. So like always, let me clue you in. Ripple has filed a motion to dismiss a lawsuit claiming it violated U.S. securities laws by selling XRP. Notably, the motion to dismiss specifically claims that the plaintiff, Bradley Sostak, and Bradley Sostak is one of the XRP purchasers suing the company, well, the motion to dismiss claims that this gentleman does not have the standing to file a complaint rather than address the claims that XRP is a security. So they're going after the man instead of the issue. And we're going to dig deep on this because if you hold XRP, if you're involved in the space, then this is the sort of information that you should care about. We're going to dig deep on exactly what this means to you. But when I say that they're going after the man, these are the grounds for dismissal that they claim. In a motion to dismiss, Ripple states that the plaintiff failed to bring a case. So this is one of the things. He failed to bring the case within 3 years of the initial offering, which would have been 2013, meaning that the statute of repos is expired. Number two, that the plaintiff did not plausibly allege that he purchased XRP during the initial offering. So I guess he's saying he did not really make it clear that he actually purchased the XRP. And then the other thing, that the plaintiff did not plausibly allege that any of the defendants actually sold XRP that he bought. So did they actually sell the XRP that they're suing Ripple for? These are the questions that Ripple brought to the lawsuit. A lot to take in. And if these sound like technicalities, it's because that they are. Notably absent for the motion to dismiss is a full-fledged argument over why XRP is not a security. Indeed, the filing only addresses the question in one footnote of this motion, which states that XRP is not a security because it is not an investment contract. And in a direct quote from Ripple, they say purchasing XRP is not an investment in Ripple. There is no common enterprise between Ripple and XRP purchasers. There was no promise that Ripple would help generate profits for XRP holders, and the XRP ledger is decentralized. What do you think? Me personally, I have no clue whether or not XRP is or is not a security. This lawsuit says it is. Ripple says that they aren't. This lawsuit says that Ripple did claim that XRP holders would generate profits back in the day. Ripple says that they didn't. So it's up in the air. I want to offer you a little bit more perspective than just reading headlines. This comes from a lawyer. He's not your lawyer, but he is a general counsel lawyer for Compound Finance, big crypto bull, big Bitcoin bull, and he has some clarity on this issue. Ripple just filed a motion to dismiss the XRP securities class action. The motion is perfectly designed to delay the case as long as possible and is deeply unsatisfying for those of us who just want a ruling on whether XRP is a security. Here are the highlights, and here's what comes next. And by the way, whether or not you hold XRP, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. It should be noted about Jake Chervinsky, this lawyer, he's been accused of being critical about XRP in the past, and he says, first, a note to all XRP fans preparing to murder my mentions. I have no view on whether XRP is a security. Only the courts can answer that question now. But if anybody tells you that they already know that XRP is 100% not an unregistered security or 100% a unregistered security, then if anybody tells you that they already know the answer, run away, because this is a big question in crypto right now. But essentially, the reason why he said this is because he's saying that he doesn't care if it goes one way or another. He just wants an answer, and he's trying to come at this as unbiased as he can. Let's read on. If you aren't a lawyer, the motion may not be as much fun for you to read. because Ripple makes a dozen separate arguments for the dismissal of all 7 claims, and most of those arguments are highly technical issues regarding this specific plaintiff, regarding the man, not XRP. But Ripple doesn't argue that XRP is not a security. So why is that? Why is that? When you hear the phrase winning on a technicality, it usually means that the defendant, which is the company Ripple in this case, but it usually means that the defendant prevailed on an argument to the effect of, hey, it doesn't matter if I did the bad thing you claim I did. The law says you can't do anything about it. That's winning on a technicality, and according to Jake, that is the kind of win Ripple is going for. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with trying to win on a technicality, trying to win on technical grounds. Seeking this type of technical victory is the optimal strategy for Ripple here, according to Jake. Because why? Because it's a low risk, high reward. Even if the motion fails, there's no chance of an adverse ruling on a substantive issue. So what's the point? If you hold XRP, what should you expect? Perhaps more importantly, the motion is consistent with Ripple's long-running litigation strategy of delay, 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 which is a perfectly valid strategy in this court system. But this is a beast of a motion with many nuanced arguments, each requiring independent analysis. It will take a long time for the courts to sort this out. So that's the update I have for you today. So what do you think? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. As I get more information, whenever we get that next update, I will let you know. So subscribe to the channel for daily updates, keeping you informed on the crypto market. But let's keep going. Next piece of news, Binance has just listed the Mimblewimble-Based low-cap altcoin Beam. Beam, of course, uses Mimblewimble technology, which is a lighter, more scalable, less bulky privacy encryption on transactions, which is new, which is exciting people, and it just got added to Binance. As you can see, the pump started multiple days ago, possibly somebody new, but what's surprising is Beam got added to Binance before Grin, and right now they're both low-cap Mimblewimble altcoins. And here's a direct quote from the co-founder, CIO of Beam. He announced that he's quite fascinated with the fact that Binance decided to list Beam first, before Grin. He pointed out that the exchange already had plans in place to list another Mimblewimble-based privacy coin, Grin, and he expressed excitement in a tweet saying, wow, Binance lists Beam before Grin. Interesting. Beam gets added to Binance before Grin, but they're both bringing on the platform, which means that the people at Binance are bullish on both of them. Interesting stuff. Let's keep moving on. CME Group is launching Bitcoin options in early Q1 of 2020. And in my opinion, this is big. Derivatives marketplace CME Group has announced it will offer options on its Bitcoin futures contracts starting in the first quarter of next year. In its announcement on Friday, the CME said the launch of Bitcoin options is aimed to provide clients with additional tools for precision hedging and trading. The launch, of course, is pending regulatory review. But CME Group, they did get regulatory approval for their futures. And like I said, this is big, in my opinion, for good reasons, and this is big for bad reasons. The reasons that I think this is good for the space is because it's an extra hedging tool for institutional investors, which means it's bringing more volume and more legitimacy for Bitcoin, since CME Futures is seeing that there's a demand for this in some sense or another. So yes, it's pretty big, but it's also bad in many ways because this is cash settled. Cash settled just like CME's futures, which just means, this could lead to more manipulation without people actually having to settle an actual Bitcoin. Let me know what you think. Last piece of news, Bitwise submits a massive Bitcoin report to the SEC. This just happened, saying the market is in fact ready for an ETF. When I saw this headline, I was honestly a little bit surprised because, as you know, the deadline for the SEC to approve or reject Bitwise's ETF proposal is coming up. And the reason this shocked me is because if you follow us at our Twitter, at altcoindailyio, link in the description, as soon as, it was just announced that Van Eck and Bitwise and VanEck were the two companies that had the deadline approaching for the Bitcoin ETF offered by each individual company. VanEck pulled out, obviously because they thought the SEC wouldn't approve it. I was expecting Bitwise would probably pull out too, just because they don't want that big rejection mark. But instead, Bitwise doubles down and submits a 31-page slide deck saying that the market is ready now. Crypto pioneer Bitwise says 3 key changes over the last 2 years have materially improved the Bitcoin market. Posted in a 31-page slide deck from the cryptocurrency index and fund provider, the data argues that there is now a sound foundation for a fully regulated Bitcoin ETF in the United States. And this approval or rejection, it's coming up. And I'm not going to read you all the points of this 31-page slide deck, but the 3 key factors were: the Bitcoin spot market has become efficient. I'm not sure if you trade on the spot market, you tell me. Number 2, Bitcoin custody has become fully institutional. I mean, this has definitely improved in 2 years. And number 3, the regulated futures market has become significant. And yeah, I mean, that's all relative, but Bitcoin futures are way more significant than they were a year ago. But that's the video for today. My name's Austin. If you got value, give the video a like, and I will see you tomorrow.